Now, we've had these in the arcade since pole position and they've been a lot of fun, but not really the best practice for putting on your L plates and learning how to drive. But never fear, the British School of Motoring has got a car sim for its more nervous drivers.
Get out of the way, Squares.
That's what lights are for, they're trying to stop you.
Look at them, they're still back there now. I'm nearly home. Obviously, this is a proper inside of a car. It's a Vauxhall, I can see that. You've got your speedometer, it's a proper steering wheel. But how realistic is the driving experience?
Well, it's as close as you can get.
The graphics on this are a little bit pony, aren't they? Do people come in and complain about that at all?
Not really, no. At the end of the day, it's not the graphics just now that kind of make the difference, it's the actual driving abilities of the simulator. Each individual simulator costs approximately about £37,000.
Shut up, does it, man? 30s? Hey, I crashed deliberately. Turn that off for a second. Who sold this to you?
I don't know the name of the company, but it's a French simulator.
It's the French simulator, of course it's a French simulator. See ya, coppers. Hang on a second. Here we go. Stunts, stunts.
You might want to change gear.
Oh yeah, what gear was I in? I was in second. Been messing around in here, but we've got to say, of course, driving is serious. Don't mess around in cars, because people get killed, don't they, Derek?
They do get killed.
How many people get killed a year, do you know?
Too many.
Too many, that's a good answer. Drive carefully, don't fanny about on the roads.
Of course, you don't have to invest a fortune and build a spare room in your house to play an accurate simulator. Microsoft's Train Sim allows you to drive 9 trains across 6 historic rail routes. And yes, you are still allowed to play with flight simulators.
But sometimes it's not quite the same playing in your front room on that portable black and white telly. Sometimes you've just got to try out a purpose-built sim. This £750,000 shipping simulator at Glasgow's Knuckle College puts you on the bridge of some of the biggest ships in the world and allows you to dock them into the trickiest ports. And it comes with its own salty sea dog instructor.
Put your helm 10 degrees to port. We train ship's officers right from the start of their training right through to ship captains.
Have you ever had anybody get seasick?
Oh yes, 2 or 3 people who have been in here when we've been on a fishing trawler and it starts to rock and roll.
Oh dear, oh my goodness, we are going to run into something.
The ship's got aground. I don't think you're ever going to make this captain's job.
Oh, John, I thought I was really good there for a second.
No.
As a sim, it's swell, but I can't really see the games buying public fishing into their pockets to pull money out for a boat driving game. But if you want that simulated experience at home, there are plenty of sims for planes, trains, and automobiles. Or, of course, you could write to your MP and demand they bring back the Krypton factor.
Now, I don't want to make a whole chunk of you feel old, but think on this. There are a generation of people out there watching this show who have never heard of a Sega Saturn. Now, these are the same people who don't know that Peter the Goat Boy's catchphrase from Heidi was "Hoopla, hoopla."
But anyway, it was playing a Saturn that my life changed and I caught my first glimpse of Wipeout. But even on this waste of technology, it was amazing.
Now, nothing much has changed in the world of Wipeout. The games have got faster, more aggressive, and just better. But imagine Wipeout on your PS2. Go on, imagine it. You don't need to now, it's here. It's called Wipeout Fusion, and you know how you just imagined it? Well, it's a little bit better than that.
I say a little better because I guess I was kind of disappointed when I first played it. The graphics weren't quite as smooth as I'd hoped, but once I was firing around the track in my wee Physar pod, I remembered just how bloody exciting these games are.
They've always been fast, but Fusion seems to take the piss. And to be honest, all we really want are more tracks. The game's never going to change that much, and that's why we like it. And this baby has got 45 new tracks, some of them huge. It's heaven. Do I sound like I'm slightly biased? Sorry, but it gets worse.
Jump pads, triggers to raise bridges, vertical air jumps and 180-degree flips. I don't even know what most of those things are, but I do know they sound wicked.
And finally, a game on the PS2 with seemingly intelligent rivals. There's no Gran Turismo-style hugging of that bend no matter what. These fellas react. They pull back just to blast you, and they seem to remember when you upset them. Now that is a little bit weird.
The design team have followed the How to Make a Sequel handbook to the letter. More competitors, enhanced weaponry, more playing modes, it's all there.
But it's all there, and it's done in style and with a lot more care than most. And of course the music is, I don't know, pumping? Is that the word? It's certainly not hardcore, I know that much, and it's definitely not junglist, so that's a relief. Now, supposing you're not a fan of Wipeout games, you're thinking, is there anything new in Fusion that will appeal to me? Well, no, you idiots. You've not listened to a word I've said. It's more of the same. If you don't like Wipeout, go and cut your hands off and stop pretending to be a gamer. We don't want your sort round here. You're not welcome.
Wipeout Fusion was due to be released in December, but has now been delayed till February. Boo!
It's News Desk time, where we bring you tiny little snippets of computer game nourishment from around the globe. Masticate with us, it means chew. Aleks.
Thanks, Iain. First tonight, reverberations from the September 11th tragedy still continue to be felt within the computer games industry.
Structure under attack. Unit lost.
The publicity for Joe Wood's World War III Black Gold had to be toned down. And more severely, a whole scene featuring the Twin Towers in New York has been totally cut from Konami's Metal Gear Solid 2. Fans will be pleased to hear that the game is still on track for release in February. But a big question mark hangs over Sega's Propeller Arena. Just how to market a flight game with skyscrapers in it is causing all sorts of sleepless nights. Oh dear.
In a bizarre twist, the US Army had to provide funding and technical backing for 2 new games. They've been liaising with the video game industry through the Institute of Creative Technology and have developed new virtual reality devices and simulators to train their soldiers.
The shady-sounding Army-funded Institute of Creative Technologies say they'll develop 2 combat video games, provisionally called C-Force and CS-12, to be released over the next 2 years, with tactical and financial backing from the Army.
Now, we're not entirely sure of the long-term strategic benefits of releasing software designed to train military personnel, but C-Force comes out on next-gen consoles and CS-12 will be out on the PC. Just don't get too good at it, because they can actually call you up to join the Army, and you could die. Coming up next, something for you PC games types. It's a chart rundown of the biggest-selling PC games of 2001. Coming in at number 5...
Commandos 2 Men of Courage is set during World War II and involves elite commandos heading deep into enemy territory. The game incorporates loads of new features, including a 3D engine that enables indoor and outdoor environments. No corner is out of reach, but enemy soldiers are smarter too and can smell your every move.
Coming in at number 4, Red Faction. This game is having a last-minute surge into the top 5 PC games of 2001. It's currently sitting in at number 4 in the charts, but will it climb to be a classic?
At 3, it's the latest Championship Manager. Last season it sold over 200,000 copies, but this season it's been relegated to 3rd place.
In 2nd place, The Sims have virtually taken over our world. Since its release in February 2000, it's been a constant chart topper.
But in 1st place, WWT BAM continues its tedious hold on the number 1 slot, having sold over 300,000 copies since 2000. And with the launch of the 2nd edition, it looks like Sir Christopher of Tarrant will be on the top for quite a while yet.
When you're born, we copy what we see. And then we go to school, we play Simon Says. Then you get the job, the mortgage, the family, and then you die. Face it, we're all sheep. And back in 1998, we flocked to Parappa The Rapper on the PlayStation.
Come on, Parappa, relax. It's practice time.
An interactive follow the leader combined with bizarre Japanese love story between a hip-hop dog and a flower. Hey, now he's back with Parappa 2.
What's your name, fool?
What's my name? What's my name, fool?
By pressing the buttons in the order they're specified, young Parappa raps into the heart of his girlfriend, Sunny Funny. Call me an old cynic, but may I suggest that Sony are teaching gamers to memorize the controller so they'll feel intrinsically part of the X, triangle, circle, square generation. And over 1 million Parappa fans can't be wrong.
Is your desire to grow back again?
The sensitive, new age Parappa has lost his confidence and is deeply concerned about how his girlfriend, Sunny Funny, sees him. He must musically make his way through the game, learning new love skills from the experts, with only a pre-level practice jukebox and his internal metronome to accompany his tugging heartstrings.
Okay, that's it.
Some of the more peculiar songs feature the Barry White-esque, slightly diluted soul rantings of the mystical, fez-wearing guru ant.
Who's that? Don't know, but he'll probably help us get big.
Later, in an extreme sport round on a boot camp during training for the army to fight the evil people, Parappa and a drill sergeant cow skip over ropes turned by women's breasts. Hey, Of course. It's difficult to tell whether the script was originally written in Japanese and then badly translated, or whether the people who conceived of the lyrics were on acid at the time. Yet for a game that repeatedly encourages you to create your own groove, it certainly punishes you for trying. But for the short time that you stay alive per round doing your own thing, you can create whole new sentences by pressing the buttons in a random order.
Do it, do it. Getting worse.
But if you're a convert, and hallelujah, I am, you'll be extremely pleased with the latest release of the franchise. Except once you get through the game, you'll feel empty and unfulfilled and craving more. On the PlayStation 2, Parappa The Rapper is out.
Right now!
No, actually, it's out in January. Virtual reality headsets never really took off. They were too clunky, the graphics weren't particularly great, and they never provided the ultimate gaming experience we were all hoping for. But there have been a new wave of glasses set to change our minds, or change us into Stevie Wonder at least. Ian, what the hell are you doing?
I'm playing Virtual Lemon Squeezer 2. Ooh, nice lemons. Today we're trying out the Olympus Eye Trek FMD 20p. It costs £299 and is specifically designed to plug straight into your PlayStation 2. It's one of a range of eye treks for Dreamcast, PC, DVD and TV, but do the big goggles enhance gameplay, or is it just an embarrassment? Let's see what the public think of the headsets with a nice game of Splashdown for the PS2.
Quite disorientated in the first instance, but once you start playing around with it, it's quite good.
Sometimes I actually thought I was actually on a boat.
You can just play it anywhere. I think you can you?
Well, in as much as you have to have that PlayStation 2 with you and a wall socket plugged in. So, no. Supposing you're playing this with your mates, do you think you could trust your mates? Because they could be, doing all kinds of stuff around the side of you and just punching you and kicking you and stuff like that. Do you think you could trust them?
Definitely not, no.
Marks out of 10, how many marks would you give those goggles?
Yeah, it's very nice, but the jumping is very hard, but it's completely is very nice.
Okay, so there we go. The uranium mark out of 10 is it's very nice, but jumping is very hard. Thanks very much.
You're welcome, sir.
It's official. Games are bigger business than movies, but Hollywood's a smart machine and clever marketeers are now releasing interactive tie-ins to their big flicks. Most of these in the past have been quite rubbish, but we've got 3 brand new titles that we're offering our workhorse jury to try out. They can only pick one as the best. Which one's it gonna be?
First up, Batman Vengeance. Based on the Emmy Award-winning Warner Brothers animated TV series, the story is scripted especially for the game. The game features 500 unique animations and specially recorded voice talent, and for the first time it's in full 3D. Batman.
How do the graphics compare to the series and the films?
Well, they've gone more for the cartoon series rather than the film, and at times you'd swear you were looking at the cartoon itself. It's so well done. It's
really?
Fantastic. Nice and dark. If you like a mix of Tomb Raider and Soul Reaver, then this one's for you.
Is it an easy game to play?
Thankfully, no. It's a really good challenge. You don't ever get tired of it easily.
What are the best bits?
The training part where you get to know everything that's in your bat belt. Just playing the game itself as well is a lot of fun.
Always good to know what's in your bat belt.
It's got everything the cartoon has. It's got the atmosphere. It's very dark and brooding.
Would you buy this when it came out, wait for it to hit the bargain bins, or just let the shoplifters have it?
Definitely get it when it comes out, because it's going to go fast.
Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea.
How's about dragging the classic 1969 Michael Caine film, The Italian Job, out from 6 feet under and making a cash cow of a cash-in cult PlayStation game? It's chocker with 14 cars, 6 characters, and 5 modes of play, from basic plot development to multiplayer. But did this game for the PlayStation 1 do it for our panel?
Classic film, not so classic game, I'm afraid. Instead of speeding through the streets of Turin, you're kind of jerking slowly through the streets of Turin.
Does Michael Caine make an appearance?
Michael Caine almost makes an appearance.
Right, Mr. Punch, to blow the bloody doors up.
But I think it's probably a vague impression of his voice.
Oh, Charlie, it's the police. Be good for the little kids who've still got their PS1 to make an excellent Christmas present. Bit of a poor man's driver, still though.
Do you think that the designers wasted their time?
I think they should at least watched it. I don't think it's a good game. I would leave it alone, leave it on the shelf.
Next up, 2 films rolled into one game, and a sequel at that. It's Alien vs Predator 2. It's the long-awaited sequel to Alien vs Predator, which was arguably the most intense and terrifying game of 1999. The new title combines elements, creatures and settings from the hit movies Aliens and Predator in 3 interlocking, character-driven stories, where aliens, predators and human marines all share one trait: to survive. The landscapes are highly detailed and graphically accurate from the movie Alien, including dark lab corridors. Each story unfolds from the perspective of a young Marine corporal, a newly emerged alien and a predator on the hunt. The objectives are particular to which one of the deadliest characters you're playing. Now, the game looks really dark. I find that quite a problem with a lot of games. Does it hinder on this?
Not at all. It adds to the atmosphere. It is terrifying. Very claustrophobic, very like the films. Scary stuff.
Is it any good?
It's excellent. I was so scared. It's really good, very atmospheric. The best bit, the surprises when you first come into them. You're never so scared when the first alien jumps out at you.
It's a very, very scary game. I mean, I can't stress this enough. I mean, just... The best bit is when you're walking through a dark corridor and you hear noises all around you.
I can see that's why computers and technology have been invented, so you can pretend you're walking down a dark corridor, hearing noises all around you. It's fantastic. Would you go out and buy this game, or would you send it on a rocket ship to another planet?
I would buy this game. It's a good game, but maybe a wee bit too scary for me.
So there we have it. Alien vs Predator 2 seems to be an excellent game, but a little bit too scary for our baby jurist. The Italian Job seems to be a load of rubbish. Don't touch that. And Batman seems to be the winner today. The best game, best graphics, best sound. But we must say, don't go to the computer game shops and start robbing this game from the racks. That's illegal. I love another. Now it's that part of the show where Aleks and I mess with forces and have a look and see what's coming up soon.
Yes, it's sneaky peek time, so you can find out what's coming out next year to get you through those post-Christmas blues. First up, it's the much-anticipated Star Wars game as Obi-Wan hits the Xbox on an all-new adventure for the next-generation video game system. Star Wars Obi-Wan immerses players into the role of Jedi Knight as never before. The power of the Force will truly be in their hands, giving them the acrobatic abilities and lightsaber prowess of the legendary Jedi Knight. But you'll not be seeing all Obi until spring of next year.
Next year also sees the launch of Maximo. No, this doesn't have Russell Crowe's big muscles rippling all over your TV screen. Instead, it's a Japanese coin-op classic, updated by an American developer. Maximo is a 3D platformer blend of combat and jumping, and the developers firmly believe that classic gameplay design never goes out of style. The story revolves around King Maximo, who returns to his realm after a long war, only to discover he's been usurped by evil Achille. Who cares about the stupid plot? There's 30 levels from across 5 worlds, 50 different power-ups, and loads of tasty backdrops.
Old arcade classics like this are the ABBA albums of the computer game world. You don't admit it, but secretly you love them.
And we end tonight with Nintendo showing off yet again with a new watery offering for the GameCube. It's Wave Race Blue Storm. The aim is to negotiate the slalom-style courses, unlocking levels as you go. It's got fantastic jet ski physics and ultra-realistic water. And there's single-player, 4-way multiplayer, and stunt modes to keep you going.
Oh, well, that's the end of the show, and unfortunately there was so much that we couldn't cram in there. For example, I'd made a moving, spiritual Christmas Advent crown. Aleks was going to model some swimwear for us, and we had an hilarious classic outtake where the sound guy tripped over a pie and crushed the postman. Brilliant. Oh.
And in the meantime, you can go to our website at www.channel4.com/Thumb Bandits, where we want you to vote for your favorite game of all time, whether it's Asteroids, Lara Croft, or Sonic. You can also buy some games, chat to people, get information, see pictures of Iain naked. It's brilliant, it's wonderful. You should really check it out. It's great.
And if you don't go there and vote, then it's guaranteed that Horace Goes Skiing is going to win. It's up to you.
But stop crying into your late-night crap snacks, because we'll be back next week with a look at Fifth Element spin-off New York Race.
We'll have the muscly-arsed wrestlers from WWF.
And we'll have the latest gadget that every kid in your school, I mean in your office, will want.
That was so much fun.
We're done now.
I'm going to make a quick phone call. Yeah, to be honest, Aleks is really getting on my tits.
Did you see him in that?
I'm not being funny, but she is so...
Unreal.
Ooh, yeah, my name's Aleks. I can't stand up.